Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. That's what we're gonna say. As long as you guys can hear me now, then I won't get frustrated. But wowza, my computer updated. You think so? Yeah. I have my co-host here with me. This is my co-host. This is my niece. I did not have a baby. No, it's just my niece. I'm babysitting for my sister. But she's gonna the smallest co-pilot on Twisted Tragedies ever. So she's gonna be my co-host today, huh? You gonna be Auntie's co-host? Auntie's littlest co-host, huh? Well, I'm glad you guys can actually hear me now because what happened was my computer updated last night and it messed with my audio. So I literally had to reboot, disconnect, do 700 different things to get the audio to rework again. So thank you, Windows. I appreciate your BS while I'm trying to live stream here. They like totally ruined my whole like I had everything up on the screen. Now my computer is dying and I need to plug it in, of course. Per usual. No, you can't have Auntie's coffee. That's not options. No options for the babies. So at that whole time, of course, my computer starts dying. So let's plug it in so that we don't die. Alrighty. I'm at my sister's. I'm babysitting my niece, as you guys know. So, oh, I can't catch a break today. My eyelash is now starting to come off because I'm running out of stuff. Well, yeah. So maybe it could be because like it just started going super duper slow and then nobody could hear me. And so I was like, great. Now we need to. You got something you want to tell everybody? She likes to be held. She does not like to sit or play. She likes to just be held 24/7, which is, kind of how it worked with my kids too. They just wanted to be held. But I had everything up on the screen to go over with you guys, and lo and behold, I had to reboot the entirety of the computer. Girly. All right, I guess I will hold you. You're not funny. You're not funny. You are not even funny. Not even funny, girl. You are not even funny. She thinks she's so funny. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. Let me pull this up. Girl, chill. Let me pull this up on my screen on my phone because I had it already on the screen. But hold on. But because my computer did what it did, I did not have a chance to thank you. It's my niece. I didn't have a chance to get everything back up before I went relive again for you guys. So we're also going to grab a diaper for the little one here. So let me pull up what Hank filed this morning. And I do think that we will get a flurry, and I literally mean a flurry, of answers and filings today. It's Monday. They've had the weekend to work on a lot of these different things. So I do think that we will see quite a bit of information today, or answers from Canoni on some of these motions in limine and outstanding motions, because there's just way too much. There's just way too much outstanding right before trial. And as a judge, it's her job to keep that, on the road to doing it. You know what I mean? Like getting to the trial, like keeping it from not going off track. So I do believe that we will see quite a few filings and stuff when it comes to the case today. And I did think this one this morning was interesting because Hank's basically saying, like, yeah, no, your expert is like biased, right? And like, sorry, but you can't have a very clearly biased expert, because let's get real. If there was an issue on this side when it came to the Commonwealth that was so clear as it is with the defense would be friggin', jumping up and screaming and yelling that it's bias, So, the defense acts like they didn't know this was coming. They absolutely knew this was coming. Everyone on the planet, including the judge, would have known that this was coming, Like, it's not hard to figure out that, like, if you have a bias expert, dude, that you've paid money to for a very clear bias opinion, then they're going to want to not have that expert testify. Like, that's the case. You got a bias expert. Like, that's, the defense did what they did. They knew what they were doing. You paid people to give you the answers that you wanted. And you didn't give them all the information. That was very clear in the first trial. And I honestly don't know why in the voir dire the judge didn't ask. Like, she asked one question. She said, who gave you the parameters of what you were supposed to be investigating? But, like, what should have been asked is, why didn't you look into other certain things yourselves? Aren't you an expert in text stream data? Wouldn't you have wanted that text stream data? Would it help if you had that text stream data now? Would you like to relook over it now and see if your opinion has changed? That would have been the proper, like, way, in my opinion, like, to figure out whether that expert was just biased, or whether they just were not allowed to have the information, and so that led them to that biased decision, or if it was purposely not given to them, which I think is the case, is that it was purposely not given to them. Like, girl, you can't have that. I think it was purposely not given to them. That's my opinion, and it was purposely not given. So, I mean, I can't see the screen right now, you guys, to see your comments, because I'm trying to get this up on my screen on my phone. But in 1 second, I promise I will answer your questions. Look at the screen. All right. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's a busy day today in the neighborhood. Auntie Nanny today. I do wish as well, Jack, that there was a new judge, because there's just too much that needs to be done, like that is a great question to probably ask prospective jurors, is how much time have you spent on social media? Because, I mean, let's get real. If they're spending a ton of time on social media, there's about zero chance that they don't know this case. It's, you know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I think they are looking for putting a jury questionnaire. I think Hank will make sure that he puts some questions in there that if you lie, you're going to get a perjury charge, because now we're going into the second trial. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to play games with this whole pretending that you're unbiased just to get on the jury crap. He's going to sniff it out a mile away. Like, and make sure that the people who are on this jury, once again, though, sequester the goddamn jury. Like, that's my opinion. Sequester the freaking jury, man. Like, it's not, it wouldn't, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Like, also, like, the Department of Justice, once again, and I told you guys this a while ago, that I fully believed that it was the DOJ that forced Alan Jackson's hand, into giving over those receipts from ARCA, that they didn't have a choice, because it was either they do it or the DOJ is going to, And as we find out now, that's exactly the case, that the DOJ tipped them off, basically, that there were these payments to ARCA. So, yeah, they did blow it, Bree. Absolutely. Also, by the way, you got a beautiful compliment from one of the witness family members yesterday who called me or messaged me to say that they thought you were wonderful on my show yesterday. So I just wanted to share that compliment with you, because I thought that you needed to hear it. That was really nice. And I was like, what? I've had her on my show a million times. She's amazing. Like, that's Bree, I said. That's my adopted mom. That's my family, man. Yes, they should be sequestered. 100% they should be sequestered. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Does anybody who's here right now want to do me a favor and post the new link to this live onto the Karen Reed is Guilty Facebook page? Because I posted the original link, which, as we know, I had to shut down and restart over here, so they don't actually have the right one over there. I don't want them trying to pop into one that doesn't exist anymore. So if anyone could possibly give the new link over there, if you're in that group, that would be very helpful to me. I would very much appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to pull up. Hold on. All right, so this is the Commonwealth's opposition to the defendant's motion in limine to allow evidence of lack of bias. So it says, now comes the Commonwealth in the above captioned matter and respectfully opposes the defendant's motion in limine to allow evidence of lack of bias. Contrary to the defense's repeated representations to this court, the public, and the first jury, the employees of ARCA LLC were and are not impartial nor unbiased. The Commonwealth has a good faith belief that the defense instigated the now closed federal investigation and actively participated. You mad about it too? Yeah, me too, kid. Actively participated in providing selective information and materials to the United States Attorney's Office to attempt. You gonna read it for me? Yeah, you gonna read it for Auntie? Here, hold on, guys. Sorry. Here, you want your dragon? Yeah, you can have your dragon. Yeah, that's a cool dragon. That is a cool dragon. Here, you can have this one too. Participated in providing selective information and materials to the United States Attorney's Office to attempt to propel and shape the federal investigation. Now, that's something we kind of already knew, right? But, it is what it is. We kind of knew they were the ones, like, pulling the strings over there, but The fact that the feds allowed it is the problem that I have. That should have never been allowed at all. It should just not have. So the rest of it says, first, the extent of the murky relationship between the defense team and the past administration of the United States Attorney's Office is still unknown. To this day, it is unclear how that relationship may have shaped or impacted ARCA's efforts. The actual directive to ARCA made by the past administration of the United States Attorney's Office and any shaping of ARCA efforts are not known. Second, there is no adequate assurance that the ARCA witnesses lack bias. The past opportunity to voir dire the ARCA witnesses did not mitigate the lack of transparency about the ARCA/defense relationship. The defense did not inform the Commonwealth about its substantial relationship with ARCA until February 13th, 2025. Notably, the defense disclosures came one day after the new administration at the United States Attorney's Office produced, in response to the Commonwealth's TUI request, materials that included correspondence between it and the defense. Before February 13th, 2025, the Commonwealth was wholly unaware of the defense's relationship with ARCA, including proposed retainer agreements, intention to compensate, and collaboration relative to questions and answers at trial. Rather, the questions posed by the defense during voir dire testimony and trial testimony created impressions that were clearly not consistent with the actual relationship between the parties. The voir dire was necessarily insufficient and fruitless. Third, the ARCA witnesses have a clear bias in this case. In addition to the shifty trial testimony relative to the witnesses' relationship with the defense, the ARCA witnesses did not contain their opinions to the parameters of their report during trial testimonies. At trial, Dr. Wolf and Dr. Rentschler, posing as neutral, independent experts, were permitted to speculate and render opinions far beyond what was stated in their written reports. That is just kooky to me. Like, that's just absolutely freaking kooky. I just don't understand. To me, it's like, Jesus, like, how more actual bias could you get? I just don't see the judge sort of allowing ARCA to be here after all of that. Yes, happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. I totally forgot all about it. I did. I totally forgot that it was St. Patrick's Day. My bad. And I'm not wearing green, so there's that. Sorry, I'm wearing my Edelman shirt. So, but let's get real here. ARCA clearly is extremely biased, and I don't see the judge allowing them to just testify if some sort of sanctions don't happen, they don't make the scope a lot smaller. Like, I just don't understand how. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that is actually, this is new. That is actually true. In a way, Hank kind of is calling out the judge a little bit for not putting her foot down like she should have a long time ago. Like, so, I mean, I have a Gronkowski one too. He's my favorite. I have an Edelman one and a Gronkowski one. They're both my favorites. But yeah, they are actually calling her out a little bit for not doing things that she should have done. And realistically, she should have stopped them from doing a lot of different things that they did during the trial, like, and all that stuff. It agitates me that they're allowed to keep doing this stuff when they know that it's just spitting out misinformation and spitting out stuff that they want in the world. Not that it's true, not that it has any even smidgen of truth to it, but it's what they wanted ARCA to say. Like, that's the bottom line, is that's what they wanted ARCA to say. ARCA was to say this, and this, and that's it. And I think that's also why you're seeing, like, they keep using Dr. Russell. I'm sorry, but no good attorney is ever going to use Dr. Russell in a second trial, seeing how bad she did the first trial, if you have a decent other option. I don't think they do have a decent other option. I have a $20 donation from LG. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much. I did just change her, yes. Okay. I'm gonna play your favorite thing for you, girl, because it's your favorite. So I'm gonna play the clip for you. It's like your favorite. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. And the cult, everyone. The cult. That's the cult, everyone. That is the cult. Thank you. Thank you, LG, my friend. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, Kanoni knows, hey, potluck, I got to pick your brain. Me and you, I have to pick your brain. My email wasn't going through the other day when I was trying to email you back, but I got to pick your brain. But I mean, I just don't see how this is going to exactly work with ARCA anymore. There's too much bias happening, way too much. I also want to thank Claire, because when I wasn't live, after I was already done being live for a few hours, I must have had some replay crew people who came by to check on my live. Hold on. I was having audio. Sorry, guys. But I want to thank Claire for the donation that she made last night to my channel while I wasn't live anymore, and she was replay watching it. I appreciate it. I appreciate anybody that does, because we're just a small channel and we only survive when you guys, send a few bucks our way, and we very much appreciate it. We love this little family. We love this little community, and that's why we do so much by covering all the hearings. And I enjoy you guys, and I enjoy answering you guys' questions, and I enjoy like thinking about things that could happen, or just picking each other's brains. It's fascinating to think about the things that could happen or might happen. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure that the Facebook group gets the correct link, because the first one, we had the audio issues with it. So she spit it out somewhere. It fell and I can't find it. You got another one, don't you? You know, I used to hide Binkies in my house for when my kids spit them out. Oh, I did? That's so strange. I don't know why. Like, I'm just coming up on people's feeds now. Like, I've been here since 2023. I'm so confused. But to be fair, I did take that few-month break. We got a lot going on with my oldest, and the bone marrow transplant and the hospital visits and back and forth and inpatient, now back home. And then I got a little at home too. So it took that break. So I think maybe the algorithm is starting to pick up that I've been back for a little bit now. So I'm glad to see that I actually popped up on your feed, because God knows the algorithms, you can't beat them. You can't beat the algorithms. But the best way is people sharing it. That's the best way. Is people sharing them. Am I not popping up on YouTube right now while I'm live? I'm not understanding what is happening here. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. Okay. It says 49 watching. There's like almost 200, but it only shows how many people are watching on YouTube on that one. All right, share. Here we go. Copy. I just feel bad because I gave them obviously a link that wasn't working when I. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I just saw it. I don't know why my phone's just being slow today, I think. I'm fine. Yeah, thank you. No, it's my oldest daughter that's having the medical. She was born with her disease, so it's a lot. Let's see. Hold on. Well, that's the thing, right? I don't ever think that they will. Nelson, you make a good point. Stick with their original parameters. I just don't. I think that they will always go around those parameters and try to be sneaky about it. And I think that might be one of the reasons why Canoni just can't really allow them to testify at this point. But she's got a big decision, because if you don't allow them to testify, right, you have to allow them to get a rebuttal witness. So they have to be able to get a rebuttal witness and before trial. So you either push the trial back, right, which I know she doesn't want to do. It's also her job to keep it on track, or I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be not an easy thing for her to decide to do. I fully believe Arca should not be allowed to testify in any capacity. Like, hold on. I'm just sending a link to Facebook. All right. The baby is echoing in the thing. My sister's on break, so. All right. So it's posted. Good. Well, Hank doesn't want them testifying at all. At all. They're biased. I mean, let's get real. Alessi even said, if you guys remember, Alessi even said, I'm not going to say that their Arca's not biased, right? So what he's saying is he's not going to say that they're not biased. So you're telling the judge essentially that Arca is biased. Like, that's not smart for the defense attorney to be saying to the judge. You're basically saying that they are in fact biased, and that's a good reason for the judge to deny them being there. Like, so, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's starting to not look great for, I mean, here's the thing. No, I don't have the faith in Judge Canoni that maybe some other people do. I think she has the capacity to be a good judge. I just don't think that she's going to do some of the things that she should do. Thank you, Potluck, for your $10 donation. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. Well, that's the thing. In order to do a second review, because the second part of your comment here, like, they would have to have time to take all the data and do that. And I just don't see them doing that, because if they did take all the actual data and do another report, if they came up with the same results in that report with all of the data, everyone on planet Earth would know they were a hack. I just don't see them. They would ruin their own not that they haven't already damaged their own reputation at this point, but they would completely ruin their own reputation if they did that, because they have two choices. You can take all of the information and come up with a new report that does not agree with what the defense says, and then you're going against who you're supposed to be an expert for, which doesn't look good, or you say the exact same thing with all the new information, which wouldn't jive together, not by any stretch of the imagination, and then you would look like idiots to the fact that you don't know how to use science, or you're failing to use science to actually come to the correct conclusion, that you're just going to stick with what someone else wanted you to say no matter what. And I don't think that's great for their reputation. So they're not really in a great position to redo it. And I don't think the judge would allow them to redo it, because I think even Hank knows they're just going to come up with the same BS, the same over and over and over. So yeah, he's asking for them to not be allowed to testify. And I don't blame him. I would be asking the same thing. I don't know about suing Arca, but I do know that the sewer turtle will be drowning in civil lawsuits for years to come. Well, essentially that's what they did. They hid what would have been correct results to just go with whatever, Yeah, it's you can't put the link in chat. Links don't pop up in my chat. I have to like reset the settings. But links will pop up on like Facebook. You have to I did it already, but you have to copy and paste the link and then send it. I wanted it on that specific page so people could find us. I don't think so. Not unless they're trading. If they're trading Dr. Russell for this person, maybe. But if they're using a rebuttal for a rebuttal witness, I don't think so. There's no rebuttal to a rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? They use Dr. Russell, we got a rebuttal witness. There's no like rebuttal to a rebuttal. So like I don't think the judge is going to allow, because then you'd have to allow the Commonwealth to get another, you know what I'm saying? Another rebuttal. Like it's not, and that's the thing, right? Facts are the facts in this case. Facts are the facts. You can't change them, right? Karen likes to try to change them. And the sewer turtle loves to try to change them. Apparently, he told people on the show the other night that you can't say mean things to him because it's witness intimidation, even though he's been crying from the rooftops that it's not witness intimidation. It's his First Amendment right to do all these things and say all these things and do dog whistles to have a mob attack people. It's his First Amendment right. So like he can say mean things all he wants. Now he's arguing the opposite because he's on a witness list, that you can't say mean things to him, because if you do, you will, I don't know, be arrested or charged with witness intimidation, which I find hilarious. So I have a few things to tell the sewer turtle. A, I can say mean things to you all I want. It's not witness intimidation, idiot. Number two, you don't get a victim witness advocate if you're not a victim or the victim's family. You are neither, sir. Okay? Like that's not a thing. Like, oh yeah, he's a giant vagina. Giant vagina. As we know. But I mean, for you, like you're gonna get, and then apparently, and I didn't watch it, but this is what I'm told. He said that he's like somehow going to like wipe the floor with Hank, and all I could do when I heard this, and somebody told me this in chat yesterday, was die laughing because like, sir, you have two choices: get up there and you plead the fifth, and you tell the world that you're a criminal who's been hiding your criminal activity, and that you can't say anything on the stand because you're pleading the fifth, right? Or you get up there and answer the questions and lie, and Hank wipes the floor with you. The fact that you think for 1 second that you would wipe the floor or challenge someone as seasoned as Hank Brennan is freaking hilarious. And I am here for when and if they call you to the stand with the popcorn. We will stream the fuck out of that. Okay? We will be here for that, right? Maybe he should call up his like backup sewer turtles to help him out. The rest of the four, you know, like Donatello, Michelangelo, you know. Like I'm dying, like laughing, like, oh, crying about the camera that he walked up to and start like, I'm sorry, but like before the footage was released, I was told like what happened. And they're like, Elise, like he looks like a lunatic. Like he looks like a lunatic. So when the footage was released, I was like, oh my God, they weren't exaggerating. He looks like an actual effing lunatic. Like you walked right up to a freaking camera, bro, and started running. And if you don't like swear words, put your fingers in your ears right now, because I'm going to say something real vile. Real vile. So like if you don't like bad words, just stick your fingers in your ears. He walked up to the camera and he decided he was going to run his cum catcher. Like right out the side of his neck, run his mouth, throwing his hands up, looking like a fool, right at the camera. And then you want to complain that the inside of the camera got the audio. Sir, you are, and then he wanted to cry wiretapping. That was amazing. That was so funny. You have no privacy in public spaces, sir. No right to privacy in a public space. D&E is on a public sidewalk. You have no right to privacy there. Never mind the fact they were filming it. They were filming it. Right there on the side of the sidewalk. They were filming it themselves. So what? Like, how many times he's argued against his own argument is amazing to me. The fact that you would put that into words and then put that on the internet and then put it out there for Cosgrove to then take and be like, Your Honor, but he says that when it's against him, it is not the First Amendment. It is witness. See, Your Honor. So I don't. I mean, he's got to be either the stupidest person on planet Earth, okay, Or he's that worried about all of his lies coming out that he's just milking it until the very end when he knows it's going to be over. Or both. Or both. Or both. I mean, listen, not everybody likes vileness, but like that was coming out of my mouth. You guys know I can't be responsible for everything that comes out of my mouth all the time. Like sometimes it's just coming out. It has to. I have to get it off my chest. Like they did have a disclaimer. They did that they could change their opinion, but I highly doubt that they would. The way that they were indignant on the stand, especially Dr. Wolf was indignant. I don't see him changing it, even if he was given a effing video of Karen doing it. And what we have with John's phone data that stops moving for seconds after Karen's car backs up, like within two I think it's like 2 minutes or a minute, like within seconds, okay, he stops moving forever and his phone is found underneath him. That is good enough. Never mind that he never goes into the house. The GPS coordinates show us he never enters the house. So that's, to me, like you might as well have just videotaped it. That's a snapshot in time. We know exactly what time her car backed up. She jammed on the gas at 75% gas pedal. 75%. That means she fucking floored it almost. Floored it in reverse almost. That's car data. That data cannot be manipulated or changed. She freaking floored it in reverse. Like, someone flooring it in reverse tells me that you're awfully angry, right? Most people don't just floor it in reverse if they're happy-go-lucky or they have to, their stomach hurts and they want to go home. Like, you don't just floor it in reverse. You would slowly back up. But as we know, her car tells us that she floored it in reverse. And no happy people are flooring it in reverse, dude. Come on. Like, oh, I would too, Bree. You know me, dude. Like, I nope, nope, absolutely not. I wouldn't be able to work with someone like that. You don't have any integrity. Like, I don't give a shit if they paid you $500,000. If the data shows that what they're saying is not true, then open your yapper and say so. Like, and that's another thing. Sensors, y'all. Everybody seems to forget. Karen has sensors. So when she backed into John's car and didn't break the taillight, let's make that clear. It could not have broken the taillight. Not only that, it didn't even touch the taillight. At friggin' 3 miles an hour. She had backup sensors that were beeping at her. Same thing when she was backing up at 24 miles an hour. She had backup sensors that were beeping at her. Like there's no chance they weren't. So things are alerting her, stop, 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 stop. Yet she keeps going. Just keep that in your mind because a lot of people, especially on social media, seem to forget that murder two in Massachusetts does not include intent. You don't you have a C prong, which means you don't have to prove intent. All you have to prove is that a reasonable person would have known driving in the snow at night in a blizzard, drunk, could hurt or kill someone. That's it. You got to put that over here because that's right behind the speaker. Like, a reasonable person would have known doing that could hurt or kill someone. It's that simple. You don't have to show intent, but if you really wanted to show intent, those backup sensors beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping and her not stopping, damn well will show you some goddamn intent now, won't it? You know? And that's another thing. How'd you know her dad said she thinks she struck something. She thinks she struck something. So she thought she struck something, but it wasn't John. So what did she strike? All the taillight pieces were found at Fairview. So, I mean, her own dad kind of burns her with her telling him, I think I hit something, Dad. Like, come on. It's possible that, yeah, the drink was grabbed, and you have to remember at one point, I think both of them left with a glass from each different place, like, because why did he have her straw? That's the weird part. They found the straw, but the straw came from Karen's cup. So why did he finish his own and then take Karen's? And that's why they had the straw, because the straw didn't come from his cup, it came from hers. That's the other thing. And I've, in my brain sort of been like, why was the straw found on the scene? Like, I don't understand. Like, yeah. So for instance, when I get in my sister's van, right? She's like, my mom. It'll start beeping when I don't have my seatbelt on. And she's like, my mom. And she'll be like, seatbelt, seatbelt. And I'm like, oh yeah, thanks, mom. And she's like, you're welcome. And if I don't put it on, it will just keep beeping. Beep, beep, beep. That I don't have my seatbelt on as the passenger. Why? Because there is a sensor in the passenger seat that knows the weight of a person. So you can put something on the seat and it's not going to beep saying you don't have your seatbelt on. But the weight of a person, there's a sensor that starts going off telling you that your seatbelt in the passenger seat is not on. And it's going to keep dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging until you put your seatbelt on. Karen's Lexus had way more, bells and whistles than my sister's van does. Like, you know what I mean? So you have to imagine the amount of I'll just call it voluminous information that came out of that chip off from her car the second time. I think it was 8 lines of data that they didn't have before that they have now. So, I mean, I know it's so sad. It's really sad, Bree, because you do this kind of work, right? Like, I know, right? It's the Lexus. The Lexus did it. I kid you not when I say, like, at the cult level, like that's what they'll be claiming next is that it was not Karen. The Lexus did it itself, 100%. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're probably right. A millisecond before she hit John. But my point is when she was backing into John's car, I think she did that on purpose because all those sensors are screaming at her while she was doing that. Like all of them. And she did not stop. So it's like, even if she didn't have time to react, no one is hitting the pedal at 75% and backing up that fast if they're not pissed the F off and they're not trying to fly backwards, right? Like, no one who's just a little mad is just going to fly in reverse with 75% of that pedal down. You know, when people like peel out of someone's driveway when they're pissed off and they're like leaving, so they like take off and they peel out. Almost the same thing, except even when those people are backing out of a driveway and they're pissed off, when they get to the road, they stop and they wait. Then they back up real fast and they peel out and go forward, right? You ever seen someone do that and they get pissed off? They're leaving someone's house, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. They get in their car, they back out real quick, and then they peel out, take off, right? I've seen it happen with my friend's ex-boyfriend. And that was like his favorite thing to do when he got pissy was like peel out. Like it was like the cool thing to do or something. Like, come on, bro. Like, um, so I mean, I, I just think Karen must have been very angry when she hit that pedal, right? And I think everything she did after that, everything shows that she knew she did something wrong. Even if she was so drunk that she didn't remember doing it, right? And I'll give the benefit of the doubt in this scenario. Say she was so drunk that she doesn't remember doing it until she's at John's house and she realizes when she wakes up that, like, oh shit, I'm now having flashbacks of what I think happened. Everything she does right after that second shows that she tries to cover it up. That ring cam footage did not delete itself, okay? From her arriving back after John was hit all the way until she gets Kerry and Jen, and you don't see them looking at the taillight and her plucking a piece out of the taillight and dropping it on the ground because she was so worried about electrical issues because the wires were exposed, right? So none of that is on the cameras because those videos are magically disappeared. The only person who had access and motive to those ring cam videos was Karen. It's just a fact. It's undisputable. It is a fact. Do we have proof that Karen deleted them? No. Is it more logical and reasonable that she is the only other person that had access to those cameras that could have deleted them? Absolutely, because they're not deleting themselves. They didn't delete themselves. So someone had to have deleted them, right? And I don't think Kaylee or Patrick did. So come on now. Like, oh, is he doing that right now? I do have a sneaking suspicion that for tonight's ID discovery, God, I don't even want, I feel that I want to call it a documentary because I think the way that these people did it was very sneaky. Um, I keep hearing Kevin say that he's the only one they would go to, or he's the only one who would talk about it. I fail to understand how he thinks that's true. I've been talking to Kevin since 2023. He knows that I've been publicly covering this case almost as long as he has, or along the same timeline as he has. And I've been publicly talking about it since 2023. So I mean, I know there's me, there's Karen from True Crime Wine. I could probably think of at least a dozen people off the top of my head that would have spoken to them if they reached out. So I failed to understand why or how he could be the only person. Nobody reached out. I mean, there's a billion people over here who have, not everyone's afraid, because I think he said last night, like everyone was too afraid. Like we have people who were happily publicly speaking about it because it's the right thing to do, right? And the truth needs to be out there, because if we don't push back on the misinformation, then it just doesn't happen. But I mean, don't sit there and say that like you're the only one. Like you're not the only one. There's plenty of us. I mean, could have attempted to reach out to any one of us and we would have happily done it. Like I think it's important that people work together to dispel the misinformation. I just don't always see that happening, and it's kind of sad. Like, for me, it's like it should be a collective, right? Of people wanting to dispel this misinformation and people wanting to get the truth out there. It shouldn't be you gotta someone here, someone here, someone here, and then the audience now has to split themselves up between whoever they want to watch first. If they go back and forth, some people go back and forth. um it's like we should be working together as a whole. I just fail to understand how not working together makes any sense, you know but hey, whatever. If you're gonna say you're the only one, though, like, give some backup as to why you think that you're the only one, because I think Kevin knows he was not the only one. He knows I exist. He knows I've been talking about it publicly since 2023. He knows Karen from True Crime and Wine exists. He knows that she's been talking about it on TikTok for a long time now, since way back then, 2023. So, I mean, nobody called us. Nobody sent us a text and said, "Hey, they're saying they don't have people. Like, anybody, want to do it?" Like, one of us would have. If they had no one, and they couldn't find anybody, nobody thought to, like, you know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it is what it is, though. But I find it funny that the glare is discrediting the ID series, because I'm seeing a lot of that happening on that side. And I know that some people screened it ahead of time. So I'm guessing that it got screened by some free Karen. Well, we know that it got screened by a lot of free Karen Read people and not very many not free Karen Read people. And I'm guessing that what we're seeing is damage control from that side. A lot of damage control. I know we have the clips of her as a kid, right? You guys seen, I'm sure some of you guys have seen those clips of her as a kid, and like the look in her face is of pure like craziness. Like that's lunatic. Like I fail to understand how nobody saw any red alarms when she was younger, because it sounds like there was quite a few, according to what I know, like, so I don't know. Like, we don't know how long, Jude. I wish we did, but maybe some of that card data will tell us, you know? It could tell us. Murder, part of the men's prey the Commonwealth is pushing is her ignoring the backup camera and alarm. Yeah. Well, again, I think that's part of, we'll find out if the data from the car shows that, right? Like, yeah, John usually drank beer, they said. That was his drink of choice, was usually beer. Oh, she could have been out already. She was offered 18 months at the beginning. Didn't take it. So, I mean, she could have been out. This whole thing could have been over, you know? Oh, make no mistake that I fully believe that the judge will throw the absolute book at her if she's found guilty. 100%. That's what I believe. Thank you, Potluck. The reverse audible sensor, Maestro says, is proof she knew she hit John, but not something she could have reacted to in time at her speed. Yeah, so they probably might use it as like, okay, you heard that. You had to have felt the collision, right? And yet you left. You left. You left. You left. Like, I think that's also why I think I have thought that as well, Jude, that the reason that they pulled up so far, and people don't even realize this who aren't from the area, that where they pulled up to is actually on the like property line of the next house over from the Albert's old house at 34. So they were literally almost on the property line of 34 and the next house over, which I'm not sure is either 32 or 36. I don't know, but it's on the property line, right? Almost on the property line. And I fully believe that she pulled up that far because they were arguing and she didn't want anybody to hear them. So she pulled up a little further. I've always thought that. It's funny you picked up on that because I've always thought that myself. Jude says, I'm beginning to change my view of what happened. I'm beginning to think she swerved at the last minute, ran the curve and hit John, then the flagpole, the white scratch on the side of the car. So that's a good, so here's the thing. The one reason why I think that that could be plausible is because the curb, and I was telling you guys yesterday, it's not a like square curb, right? That you would usually see here in Massachusetts. This curb on that road is smaller. It's about, I'd say, probably this high off the ground, okay? But it's almost hidden on the ground, in the ground. Like it's above the ground, obviously, but like it runs along the road where grass is in people's yards. So like you can barely really see it, especially if it's dark out. You're definitely not going to see it, or snowing. And it's black. The curb is black, and it's rounded. So it's like looks more like this, right? So, and it curves a little bit. It doesn't go straight past 34 Fairview, even though it looks like it's straight, right in front of where Karen was, or where she would have backed up to. It kind of goes like this a little. So there's a very real possibility that she went over that curb a little bit. Well, yeah, she had the backup camera too. I'm not going to say like backup camera usually gets all gunked up with snow, but I mean, come on. Like she's definitely could have felt what was happening, didn't get out, didn't check, like didn't do anything. She just left. Like, John did not have his service weapon. Usually they don't. And I literally can't wait to see it, Maestro. I'm like so intrigued, and I cannot wait to see the slideshow that the new accident reconstruction guy has. It is sad. It makes me extremely sad to think the last thing that John saw was her, and the last thing that he felt was cold and being alone. No one, and I mean no one, should feel that way, ever. Ever. Yeah, I mean, I know a ton of people who would have too. Not just in IT, in any of them. In any of them. I know a ton of people. Didn't have to be me, it could have been any one of them, like, so I just, it doesn't make sense to say you're the only one when there's so many other people. There were, it is, even back then, there were enough people, if anybody just reached out to any of them. So I don't get it. There is a fact no expert has flagged if John definitely knew the car was reversing towards him. He was not caught by surprise, and the damage wounds were defensive and explainable. Yeah, I haven't really figured out whether he saw it coming or not. If he didn't see it coming, his back would have been to it, And John's arm is about where that taillight was. So if he figured it out at the last second and he went to turn, it might explain why his elbow broke the taillight and why he was clipped by the side. He might have heard it coming. I don't know. We obviously don't know, but I'm intrigued to see what the theory is from the accident reconstructionist. You know, I think the Commonwealth could have definitely done a better job in the first trial, but Lally had a lot of debunking to do when it came to this ridiculous conspiracy theory. And even with all of what he had to do, he did a damn good job because 3/4 of them jurors were voting guilty. So what does that tell you? You know what I mean? Like, no, he didn't. He did not have his gun. He did not have his gun. I mean, that's the thing. I can't, I would never say to someone like, you thought she was innocent at first, now you think she's guilty. Like, you're not right for this. I thought the same thing until the evidence came out, until I got inside information back in November, middle of November um, of 2023. I thought she was innocent too because we weren't really getting any other information. Then we actually got some evidence. I actually got some sources that had gave me some other information. And I knew at that moment, obviously, that she couldn't have been because those pieces didn't fit together anymore. Um, Kevin was on that same train. There was a lot of us at Boundless figured it out. Karen, so there was a lot of us that thought she might have been innocent, or definitely thought she was innocent in the beginning. That for one reason or another, sort of put the puzzle pieces together, and we're like, wait a second, like there are some red flags happening. There are other like things going on that don't make sense. Like, and then you have pieces of evidence that you just can't explain away, right? Like, so I don't know. Like, yeah, I know Dolly has always been. I don't know who PJ Vision is. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, yeah, she definitely is a psychopath. We know that. um, okay, let me see if I can find the. Did you send it to my email, Potluck? If you sent it to my email, I'll check right now. Let's see. Yeah, paint test. I was thinking about that. Okay, so wine in reverse. All right, let's see. See if we can get this up here. All right. Okay. Let's see. I got this. Let's share this screen here. While I'm doing this, because I think this is kind of important. This is great. Thank you, Potluck. Hold on. While I'm getting this up on the screen, if you guys can hit the like button, the share button, subscribe, change the bell from some to all so you get all the notifications every time I'm on, because when you first subscribe to a channel, it automatically sets it to some. So you want to change the bell, you click on the bell and change it to all so that when I go live, you'll always get that notification. If you can, to make a donation to the channel, you can do it on Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal right here at the bottom of the screen. It shows you the information for each one of those. We're a small channel and we only get by with donations from our viewers, and I very much appreciate it. All right, so we're going to get this up on the screen. It's only like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but it's a good explanation as to why cars whine when they're in reverse. Let's see. All right, let's get this up here.
When you put a manual car into reverse gear, you get that definitive clap as you shift the gear stick into place. And as you start moving backwards, the transmission will start to whine, building up as engine revs increase.
I'm going to rewind it, obviously. Hold on.
In reverse? Well, a reverse gear is what we call a straight cut gear. And That means it resembles a standard cog or sprocket with teeth pointing straight out the way. That's different to a helical gear, which is teeth that are angled in a spiral formation
for smooth operation.
All right. Let's get this.
When you put a manual car
Full screen for you guys real quick.
into reverse gear, you get that definitive clap as you shift the gear stick into place. And as you start moving backwards, the transmission will start to whine, building up as engine revs increase. So why does a car whine in reverse? Well, a reverse gear is what we call a straight cut gear. And that means it resembles a standard cog or sprocket with teeth pointing straight out the way. That's different to a helical gear, which is teeth that are angled in a spiral formation for smooth operation. Accelerate the speed of a straight cut gear system and it starts to make an absolute racket. Get a load of this. It makes that noise due to the large surface area of the contact patch between the gears, which slaps off each other with each rotation. Also, straight cut gears transmit torque like ripping off a plaster, all at once. So why is reverse gear the only one that's straight cut? Well, in terms of moving forwards, they're only really applicable in racing situations because the amount of noise they produce makes them really hard to justify on the roads. The reason straight cut gears are used in racing is that, compared to helical gears, they don't create something called axial load. That's an unwanted force that you do not want and you have to engineer against, adding weight. Without any axial load, a gearbox can be simpler and lighter, two things that are essential for the oily bits of a racing car. The reason a straight cut gear is solely used for reverse then is that it is an extremely simple and cheap design that needs little engineering faff. Also, you're selecting reverse from a standstill, which means you do not need that smooth helical gear engagement. So there you have it. Next time you slot your car into reverse, you'll know exactly what's going on. And now, technically, you've got a bit of motorsport in your transmission, so you can class your pride and joy as a race car. In reverse.
In reverse. In reverse, he says. Let me get that off the screen real quick. Yeah, she didn't get out to see, what she hit. The ex-boyfriends. This is a good question. Because I have a little bit of knowledge myself. As far as I understand it, they don't want to get involved. And I don't blame them, but if I was one of them, I would feel a responsibility at this point, at least by the second trial, to say something. But I mean, oh my God, wrote at the pet seat. It is kind of, it's like creepy. It's like creepy doll status. It's like my intro or outro creepy doll status. Like that's what it brought me, like, to think of immediately. Like, yeah, it was that all the safety features were working on her car at the time. I don't know. The flagpole was a little, like, I think it was after where John lay. So, I mean, I don't know. She would have had to go, like, up into the yard a bit to hit the flagpole, Yeah, it would have been too far, I think. Yeah, it's tar, exactly. It's not cement, it's tar. So it's much softer than a cement square curb is. Yeah, the jerk of her wheel was minimal. It wasn't huge. Hold on a second. We're gonna get the munchkin. We're gonna get the munchkin. Okay, munchkin. That was a quick nap, lady. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. She thinks it's funny, you guys. She thinks it's funny. All right, munchkadoo-doo. Munchkadoo-doo, auntie's munchkadoo-doo. All right. Let's see. Slide to the left. Take it back now, y'all. 3 hops this time. Where'd your toy go? We're going to find it. All right. Yeah, the jerk of the wheel, it was minimal according to the car data that we already had. But I wonder if there's any extra added car data that we're going to have this time. I've talked to Kevin many times. Everybody knows that there's an open invitation to come on my show at any time that they want. I'd be more than happy to join anyone else as well, but I've never gotten the invite from Kevin. I've given it to pretty much anybody who wants to come on, is not hostile, obviously. But I mean, I just think it'd be smarter for people to work together than work against each other or working apart. Just seems smarter in my opinion, but you know, people are going to do whatever they want to do. I have seen that. I also have seen that there was another one where a guy froze the light and it was easier to break after the light was frozen. And it's the exact same light Karen had in her car. It's the exact same make, model light. So yeah, the data shows it was a slight swerve, like almost as if the wheel correction was a slight wheel correction, not like a big wheel correction, not like she had to turn back out or go at an angle, but a very slight, like almost like if she hit him and then it moved the car a little and she corrected back. I do think they should be sequestered. It's the smart thing to do. Like, Massachusetts does not like sequestering juries. They never have. It's like taking civil liberties away. They take it very seriously. They do not like it. But if any case that it should happen in, this is one. Like, it absolutely should happen. Like, maybe, but wouldn't it be smarter to like call the cops and say it was an accident and let him die and go to jail for murder? I mean, I don't understand what people are thinking when it comes to some of this stuff. Like, you know, it's possible. Maestro said, I guarantee the recon guy didn't bring the Google height map data in. That took ages and was OCD. Diana said, I think Karen and John were arguing and he got out, had the glass. She started backing up and he threw the glass at the taillight. She continued backing up because she was really pissed and hit John. The only problem with that theory, the only problem with that theory is that the glass, parts of the glass were found right with John. So it's like, oh yeah, it says when you put a manual car in a reverse gear, there's a very definitive clat as you clink the gear stick into place. And as you set off and start gathering pace. Yeah, well, I mean, we all know from when it goes into like reverse or drive from park, you're going to hear it go, and that's a transmission going from one to the other. But don't worry, my typing is like that sometimes. My phone is like one of those phones where like if you have fat fingers like I do, like it just, and I don't know what's up with it, and I've changed the screen settings like 100 times. There's no cracks in my screen, there's no broken screen, but like I can do this 3 times, 4, 5, and like you hitting R and it won't do it. I don't know what the deal is. I've updated the phone, I've cleaned out, I don't know. It's like freezing on me and stuff for no reason. But there's only one problem with that, and it's that there's pieces of the glass found with John. So if he threw the glass at the car, that would have scattered. It wouldn't be with him. The only explanation for it being with him, in my mind, if anybody else thinks of anything, let me know. But in my mind, in my opinion, the only explanation to that would be if he had it in his hand when he was hit and for some reason like grasped it and then when he fell, it broke because it was found right with him. So it's like, that's the only explanation I can think of. And I'm still thinking right now, like, what other explanation could you have for that to be with him? Like, I don't think he had it in his pocket, you know? Like, the only explanation would maybe, no, but that wouldn't make sense either. So, I mean, yeah, the only thing that makes sense to me is if he had it in his hand when he was hit. Because why else would the glass be right there with him? You might see a couple pieces flying near him if he threw it at it, but it would have been scattered after it smashed. So it just makes sense that if he was hit with it, that's why there's pieces of glass with him, you know? Yeah, the dent in the middle of the trunk, that one gets me too. Not really sure, but it is perfect height for his arm. Where that dent is, where the tail light is for his height, right exactly where an arm would be. So I don't know. I've thought about other things about that dent too, quite a few, you know? We don't even know. For all we know, that dent could have already been there from another night of drinking. Karen had no idea about that random dent. I don't know, you know? Broken glass and tail light tore up his arm. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? There could be, you're also talking about, he was thrown into like a mulch bed. It's frozen, right? It's cold. It was like 18 degrees or something. It was very, very cold. And he's thrown into a mulch bed, basically. So we don't know. Does John ever try to get up? Does he attempt to get up? I don't know. Does he move around a little, scratching his arm with sticks and mulch? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But whether it was glass or sticks or mulch, what I do know is it wasn't a dog bite, and it wasn't a dog. Certainly wasn't a dog named Chloe. That's for damn sure. Wasn't a scratch from a dog. Wasn't a bite from a dog. I do know that. And if you remember, some of you will remember. Oh, my PayPal email. Some of you will remember that the defense decided that it was going to be such a great idea to put the chalks up of John's arm, right? But what they did was they darkened his wounds they put a filter on and darkened his wounds to make it, and took the lividity out to make it look like John's wounds were deeper than they were. Now, you want to talk about, actually messing with pictures and stuff like that. They altered that picture. They absolutely altered it. So it's like, I find it funny when they sit there and go, a mirrored image is altered. A mirrored image is not altered. I could be mirrored or unmirrored right this very second. And I did a demonstration yesterday because, as we know, some of the cult seems to think that they'd magically be able to see the tail light if it was not mirrored. That is not the case, not by a long shot, you know? So it does make me very upset that John, the last thing he saw was like laying there, like by himself. Like, I don't know. There's no plea. She had a plea. Like, there was a plea offered a very long time ago. A very long time ago. It was like 18 months, and she said no. Like, ooh, interesting. Grok needs to get with the program here. Apparently, I'm being told that we're hearing that Mr. Bradle is trying to change Aiden's arraignment from 9 a.m. tomorrow to 2 so that he can attend the Karen stuff. And it's like, bro, you're that desperate to attend a hearing? Like, you're being arraigned, sir, on a new witness intimidation charge. Like, the fact that you would even ask the court that is amazing to me. Like, yeah. Can you get on your X? I can. I'm on my X. I actually finally signed into my X. I am on it right now. I am on it right now. Sorry, I'm behind in the comments. I haven't been able, so I have been a little bit, I apologize, you guys. I've been a little bit behind when it comes to some of this stuff. Again, you know, I do a lot of going back and forth between here and the hospital, where my kid is for the bone marrow, and she's got other, you know, medical, she has scleroderma and other medical things that are going on. So I do a lot of back and forth. So for me, I miss a lot lately. And but I love when you guys point me to stuff, and I appreciate it. Like, if you guys find something on X that you think that I should see, please send it to me in either a email on twistedtragedies3@gmail, or Facebook, or Twitter, because even though you think that I might have seen it, I might not have. I do get sent a lot of things, or text message and all that, but sometimes I miss something. Hi. All right, let's see. I'm gonna get it, Maestro. Aha. I do. I love this. I forgot. I wanted to play this of yours, and I asked permission because I think it's an amazing. Let's see. Get it here. Nope, that's the wrong one. I don't want to share that one. I want to share a different screen. Hold on. Share screen. Hold on. Let's see. Doot. Doot. All right. This is an awesome video Maestro made. It was great work, by the way. I'm going to back it up here. Move this little one over here because I think that's how we do the full screen. I don't know. I've never done this one on X like this. Nope, it's not showing it. It's showing it picture in picture. I don't want picture in picture. I just want full screen, gosh dang it, to show you guys full screen. Hold on. Yep. Picture in picture. It's showing me instead of full screen. Why, gosh dang it? Why? I want full screen. Haha! I have it full screen. Okay. All right. Ready? Here it is. We're gonna, whoop. Thank you. So this is Fairview, right? So they found the cup. That's where she backs up till. That's where John's found. Right here. Shoe. This is where he's found his shoe. Is here, around here. The flagpole's over here. That electrical box is over, probably like right over here-ish. But it would stand to reason that if he was walking like that, he got clipped by the back of the car and ended up over there. That makes sense to me. That's what always has made the most sense to me when it comes to how he was hit. It just always has. It's a very well made. Good job, Maestro. It was so well made. All right, let's go back. Oh, for effing sake, hold on. There we go. I hit the wrong back button here. Let's see. Which image? I want to make sure that I get the right one that you posted. Oh, did you guys not see that the entire time? Effing A, dude. I thought I had shared the screen. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, I'm like trying to focus on 17 things at once here. Full screen. Boop. Yeah, that was her panic, definitely. It's echoing. I'm echoing. Am I still echoing? Sorry. Yeah, a lot of things will remain a mystery, Angela. You are right. An email. I'll check my email. Hold on. I'll show it in 1 second. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me either. He's not the only one. He knows he's not the only one. That's just the only thing that gets me, because he knows he's not the only one. That's not something that he just doesn't know, you know, like that just doesn't make sense to me at all. I agree with everything you say here. Like, it's great and everything, but like, but he knows he's not the only one. So that just didn't make any sense to me, you know? Like, yes, I'm here. Hello, Edge. I decided I was going to pop on today. Yeah, I'll show it. My bill. Let me just pop it up in a second. But I think this is Maestro made this this animation of what happened, or well, at least the theory of what happened, and this is always what I thought happened, and it's very well made. Yeah. Yeah, I think as well, maybe it shattered in his hand. Maybe that's why a couple pieces were found on the tailgate and the rest of it was in his hand. I don't know, you know? I don't know, but it just makes the most sense, because why else would they find it right next to him? Like, yeah, I think that might be definitely where the glass hit or something, you know? Oop, I'm 10 minutes behind on comments. I'm trying to catch up quickly. Well, that's the thing. The former U.S. attorney wasn't giving all of the information I think that they should. Yeah. And now the new U.S. attorney is giving more information than the other one, because I think the other one knew he was doing something wrong. You know, like, ridiculous. Yeah, that's the weird part of it. It's like a half perfect circle. Oh, that's why you guys hear me echoing. I was near the baby monitor and it's still on. Yeah, it's called scleroderma, and it hardens your organs and skin. It's not a thing that you want to have, I'll tell you that much. It's the life expectancy of it, depending on how bad it is, isn't great. Yes, email. Thank you. Back. Get back to this real quick. Right, we got it. Let me try to share this. Present, add image, share screen. Make sure it's actually getting up on the screen here. Boop. I know, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry. I'm catching up now. You guys didn't see it. I'm still catching up. Yeah, it's, you know. It does. You're right. The snow does make it look like he was found far from the road, but he was not far from the road at all. Yeah, she did tell them she was John's wife, which obviously we know she was not. So she could get, you know, information. And then, but her father sectioned her because she said something along the lines of, I don't want to live, or, you know. Yeah, this was very well. That was very the video and everything Maestro makes is very well made, and it's good for you guys to look at. So you should definitely follow Maestro, because we put out a lot of interesting and very well made things that are accurate when it comes to, you know, the specs and where things were and how far they are and, you know. Hey, Otter. So I think, you know, this is, hold on. Is there another one? Or is it the knee? Yeah. Look at the arm. It's exactly where they were on the arm, you know? It's so sad, like everything that they, you know, have done there. John, injury overlaid, point of impact. I mean, that's, it's really just so sad the way everything. Where's your toy? Huh? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I want to check real quick and see. For some reason, every time I've been trying to pull mass courts for like the last 2 days, things are not popping up for Karen's case, and I'm not really understanding why. Doesn't look like we've gotten anything else new today, but I will say that I do think that we will get quite a bit of new stuff like soon, because we have all these motion. Uh-oh, mommy, she saw you. Motions in limine coming. And we need answers to the motions in limine. Like, we need the answers from the judge to the motions in limine before trial. Like, yeah, and there were pieces of the taillight in his clothes. Dude, I can hear myself echoing because it's in the baby monitor. Hold on, let me shut that stupid thing off. Hold on. What in the actual heck? There we go. It's like it was echoing because it's going from one room to another on the baby monitor. That's why. Well, you know, it's unfortunate too because I think, yes, it's my niece. I'm at my sister's watching the baby. It's just, it's the whole thing is sad. How many people's lives at this point have been affected, ruined, altered, changed, all because people can't take responsibility. And the very same two people, Aiden and Karen, they can't take responsibility for anything that they do. It has to be everybody else's fault. Has to be everybody else's fault. It's, you know, it's unfair to all of the people. Like, think, like all of the people who have suffered thus far from this, for these people to consistently keep getting away with it. So I can't wait for some justice to happen to both the sewer turtle and Karen, because at this point, so many people are waiting for that justice. So many, including myself. I think it's imperative that the special prosecutors, Cosgrove and Brennan, get it right. Because unlike Brennan, he's getting, you know, this isn't a redo for him, but like the Commonwealth got a redo. Cosgrove, I don't think, like, you're not gonna get a redo, dude. Like, just you got to do it. You got to do everything you're supposed to be doing. It can't just be one thing or the other. I don't know, but what I do know is that it needs to be done correctly. In any way that he's committing crimes, he should be charged. It shouldn't be, we're just gonna, like, we're gonna charge him with a couple, but we're gonna ignore a couple because he's already charged with too many. Like, I don't give if you have to charge him with 700 crimes. If he's committing 700 crimes, then let him charge him with 700 crimes. Like, you know what I mean? Hold on a second, 1 second. I'm sorry if I didn't pee my bladder was literally about to explode. Like, literally. Hold on, I gotta scroll up to view to see what you guys said. Yeah, it's a good video of what is a good theory of what happened. It sucks though to see it like that, you know. Yeah, the one piece of glass that ended up on the tailgate that they like to say that couldn't have, you know, it's part of their conspiracy. It's amazing, right? I said the conspiracy defense is so disrespectful of John O'Keefe. They imply people could hate him to this extreme. When will they stop blaming the victim? I don't think ever. Ever. Every interview Karen does, and I don't think tonight will be any exception, and I will try to live tweet during it to give some of my thoughts. I don't think it's any exception, though, that she... Hold on. That she victim blames him. I think she'll do the same thing again tonight. It's always about her and what she's going through. And it's the same with the cult. It's if it doesn't fit their narrative, if it's not something Aiden said happened, like look at how many of them, as soon as they like the federal investigation was actually announced to be over, which I knew way ahead of time, which I told you guys way ahead of time. As soon as the sewer turtle told them, nope, definitely not. It's not over. Some of them are still actually running with that. And do you know how ridiculous and stupid it sounds to be saying it's not over at this point? Hank could be lying. Like, Hank would be disbarred, and the feds would have immediately put out a statement saying that is untrue if he made an untrue statement. The same way they did when the defense said, the feds cannot let this case go to trial in good conscience. And immediately, the U.S. Attorney's Office had to then put a statement out saying that is not what was said. That was a misrepresentation of anything that was said. So it's like, I don't know. Like, what in the actual hell did you guys like think that magically, chill, bro, magically think that, you know, he was gonna say it and then the feds wouldn't make a statement if it was untrue? Of course they would. Of course they would. Ah, getting close. It's an interesting theory, Potluck. I find that a good theory too. I find it as a good theory. I gotta check my other email. Hold on. Boop. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything from people sending me stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff, but I do expect that we will see quite a bit of motions and in limine, some of the answers to some of those from the judge between today and Wednesday. She's got to get the answers out to these. The trial is coming up. She has to have everything resolved before the trial happens. And I think they're already well into jury selection starting soon, if not already. Yeah, it made me mentally drained, Potluck, as well. I streamed the entire thing, and God rest her soul, but I started streaming it with Heels in the Air, and she passed away while we were streaming it. She had the accident literally while we were streaming, and she passed away that night. And I made up my mind that I was going to continue on because she wanted to see it through. And so I went until the end because I knew she would want to see the case through. But then when there wasn't a resolution, I was like, oh, God damn, we're going to have to do this again. But it was mentally draining. It's emotionally draining, the whole thing, especially not having a result. There are so many people waiting for justice on both ends, including myself, that it's like, when are these people going to be held accountable for the absolute horrific things that they have caused? The lies that they have spread about people, the harassment that they have put onto people. I still deal with it literally on a daily basis from these people. It's sick. It's sick. It's literally sick. And it's like, you have nothing better to do in your life but harass someone you don't know. Make that make sense. Like, it's not normal. That's not normal behavior. If you're doing that to someone else, there's something wrong with you, not them, not the person you're harassing or trying to make fun of or insult. Like, there's something wrong with you, not them. Like, it's not really hard to figure that out. Like, if you feel the need that you need to be attacking 24/7 someone else that you don't quote like, that you don't actually even know, stand to reason that they're not the problem, you are. Like, and I've seen the cult do it consistently over and over and over and over. Like, everything's about her, and it'll always be about her. That's all she cares about, literally, you know? Like, that's it. Yeah, Innocence Fraud Watch. That is a good place for some of that information. Yeah, it's not Roberta though. I thought it was at 1.2, but it is not Roberta. I have never met who it is, but I am told that it's not Roberta. That's exactly what you expect, not just one piece. It doesn't make, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for it to be one piece. You know what I mean? Some of us believed a lot of crazy things we probably shouldn't have in the beginning, but we didn't have any pieces of hard evidence, you know? Like, they did. They replaced the truth with lies, you know, before any of us knew anything, really. Like, the whole point was for you to believe it, and so was everybody else. But when you start figuring it out, and some people it takes a little longer than others, and that's okay. I just hope that people stop ignoring what's right in front of them. There's plenty of evidence right in front of their faces. And anything that doesn't make sense to their narrative, they kind of just ignore. And it's like, how do you ignore Karen telling Steve, we know who did it, Steve. We know who did it. Last interview, we don't know, Ted. We don't know who did it, Ted. Like, by the way, Ted Daniels knew that investigation was over for a year because I knew. Ted Daniels said nothing. I did. See, there's the difference between mainstream media and non-mainstream right there. He absolutely could get his bail revoked tomorrow. If Cosgrove wanted, he absolutely could ask for bail revocation. Aiden picked up another case while he is out on bail. That can get your bail revoked. So I guess we'll find out what Cosgrove chooses to do. But if I was Cosgrove, I absolutely would ask for bail to be revoked. 100%, I would ask for his bail to be revoked if I was him. You know? Hi, Suzanne. Look at you, finished it all, lady. You finished it all, lady. All of it, all gone. Peaky. Here. Don't feel dumb. There's no reason to feel dumb because you're here, right? And you're seeking information and truth, and that's like the first step, right? Like, seeking information, feeling like something isn't right, that you need to figure out what's going on. And that's kind of what happened with me. Is I had some red flags in the background, and I'm like, something's not quite right here. And one of the first ones was Karen trying to control me talking about the Procter & Buchanan DNA. And when she did that, in my mind, I was like, why does a murder defendant need to control my tiny channel and what I say? That's kind of strange and weird to me. And I was like, something's not sitting right. Something's just not sitting right. No, they don't usually televise jury selection. They want to hide the jurors, and for good reason, especially in this case, because they'll be harassed into oblivion. And there's a motion right now to hide their identities anyway, as they should. But I wish it would be good to watch. It would be kind of cool to watch, but no, it will not be televised. Yes, heels. I do. I think of her all the time. And literally every time I see a little red heel anywhere. I just took my Louis Vuittons that I've had for years, that I've wore once out of the box the other day, and the red soles reminded me of her. Just the red being on a high heel shoe just reminded me of her. Brainwashing is a thing. You're right, Angela. Karen is the tumor, but brainwashing absolutely is a thing. It is, and it works. That's very clear look at how many people have actually been brainwashed to believe things that are not logical, not reasonable, and that the evidence to show them that it's not is literally right in front of their faces. How many of these people choose to not do 1 second of research? They just parrot what someone else said. Almost all of them just re-parrot over and over and over something the sewer turtle or one of his minions say. And they just repeat over and 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 over. Like, that's it. Just repeat on repeat, like a parrot. Like, none of them bother to take 10 seconds to actually figure out whether what is being said is truthful or not. That's the shit part. Like, if they did, they would figure out fairly quickly that they're not being told the whole truth. Like, so what? Oh, we didn't have the toy in our hands. Oh. She might have. I always believe that people are here for a reason, right? And people come into your life for a reason. And I very well think that the people that I met through Heels are here in my life for a reason. I fully believe in karma, whether it's good karma or bad karma. If you have good karma in this world, it should come back to you. If you have bad karma in this world, that should come back to you. That's just the way it works. What? Little Missy wants me to pick her up because she just likes to be held, huh? Is that your problem? You want Auntie to hold you? Yeah? Okay. Okay, co-host. My little co-host here today. But I do. I know. I wish you had been able to talk to her too, because I think everything would have worked out fine. You know? But yeah, we do better now. We do better. We give the correct information. We make sure we double and triple check the information. We make sure to say it's an opinion if it's an opinion. You make sure to say we think if we think and we don't know. You know, we do that. We learn from the mistakes that other people make and that we make to make sure that what we're giving is correct information. You know, like that's how we just have to do this, like to make sure, you know. Jack says they threw an amazing propaganda campaign and no, those people are in a cult. And it's sad, but it's like, it's true. Like, and of course, people who are in cults don't realize they're in cults till they're no longer in it, right? Like, DJ, it would be amazing to see him hauled off to jail. And I will be here with the popcorn to stream it. So I'm going to try to bounce back and forth between his and Karen's. Like if there's a break in Karen's, go to his. But I'm really not sure if his will be televised because usually if there's something that's going on with Karen, then they won't do that with his. What they'll do with his is they'll like put it on Zoom or something. But I'm going to try to cover them both tomorrow because what happens in both of them is important. Especially if he goes straight to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Yes, Jack, you won't learn the truth if you don't want it. Also, when you try to find something wrong with something or someone, you're going to because you're looking for it all the time. And that's what they do is they just look for it. Like, and that's half their problem, you know, like swamp bayou cuffs. Karen's Duper's Delight is off the chain in the ID doc. Oh, I bet. So I bet they've already been told that it's not going to be amazingly great for her, I guess. Like on JFK last night, they were saying, why is TV getting arraigned for a second time on the new charge? Oh my God, what idiots. That he was not arraigned. He already had a court date set for something else. He's not being arraigned a second time, you dummies. Bail was set in that case that he already had because he picked up a new charge. Like that's, wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. People who have no idea what they're talking about but just say stuff like that that makes no sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Melanie Little is reading off motions. That's good for Melanie Little. We read off one that was already, that we had this morning. Is she reading off the old ones? Because as far as I can see, the only one is the one from this morning that Hank wrote. I will check again. I'll refresh here. Let's see. See. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new other than what we had about 4 hours ago, which was the motion that Hank wrote. So I don't know. She's probably just reading off the motions in limine that I went over yesterday that are left on the docket that we're waiting on answers for. So that's my best guess right now. Because I don't know what else she would be reading off. That's all that there is the motions in limine that are left on the docket. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Liars do need to have perfect memory, and there's no way she has one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing. Like, not by a freaking long shot. She keeps changing her story numerous times. Like, now I'm singing, "Come a chameleon." Yeah, karma is real. We are seeing it happen. Absolutely, DJ. Exactly. Virtually anyone can be duped given the right circumstances. Freak is right about that completely. Like, you know, chronic alcoholism, I think, definitely played a factor in all of this. Like, and Karen Reed is an operator. She uses a lot of stuff to gain sympathy from these people. You know, it's kind of sad though, because it's like, how do you have sympathy for someone who's wealthy, who's using your money to stay in a suite? She could stay with her parents. She could have stayed in her house when she still had it. But instead, she stays in a high-class hotel suite, okay, with pro bono attorneys. But she still needs your money. Please still give her your money so she can eat at, extremely expensive steakhouses, and she can stay in these hotels, and she can get a chauffeur, and she can buy expensive clothes. Like, please keep giving your money for that. Don't actually choose to use your money for something that might actually really help somebody or something. Right? Give it to someone who absolutely doesn't need it and then touts it around like it's a joke to the people that gave it to her. And this is what makes me sad, is some of these people are giving up parts of their Social Security checks. They're working paycheck to paycheck. And instead of like putting money towards a creator that like is like smaller or like from their hometown, or that actually might, not even make a buck on it. They're maybe just covering costs, or donating to a charity or a shelter or children, like, sick kids, like any multitude of things. Like, there's a million places, childhood cancer, foster care, like domestic violence, that you could put your money that's at better use than giving it to Karen Reed and not getting a large pizza and getting a small pizza to give her money. She does not need your money. And it's like, these people don't even realize that. When they do realize it, it's going to be too far, too gone. All that money that you've given her, she left as she put it in her bank account and spent it. Like, it's that simple. She didn't buy, daily groceries with it. She didn't buy breadstick money or TP with it. She bought a high-class hotel suite with it. And not just for a vacation, right? It's not like an earned vacation she went on. She has been staying there for months and months and months for shits and giggles. Not because she has to, because she wants to. Like, like, come on, man. Like, I do too, Jack. I give a lot of people props who make the flip. Because it is not easy to say you were wrong, especially for such a long period of time, if it took you all that time, and I would say, like, a lot of these people are looking for inclusion. They're looking to belong to something. And it's like, you don't have to feel like you need to belong to something. I promise you that there are very wonderful people over here that talk to people. Like, not all of us who think she's guilty just magically don't talk to anybody who thinks she's innocent. I have quite a few friends who think she's innocent. Guess what? Newsflash, we're still friends. Imagine that. And they can still call me if they need me, and I'll still be here for them when they need me, right? Like, you don't have to attack and, smear and find things that you want to make out to be bad about someone, or push false rumors because someone else told you it, and lies about someone because you don't like them because they don't agree with you. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Like, come on, man. Like, ridiculousness. Like, absolute and utter ridiculousness. Like, well, that's another thing. I think quite a few people know, and I know quite a few people know. The problem is some people are just too afraid to speak up, and I've been told this in private by quite a few people. They won't say anything publicly because they're too afraid of their families being lied about, their families being smeared, their families having to go through harassment and torture of a mob that doesn't even know them. They've watched what's happened to numerous people, including myself, and said, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with that. And I don't blame them. I really don't. But, staying quiet doesn't help him stop. It'll continue on until enough people stand up and say, something needs to be done here. That's the only time. Like, psychiatry. Hi, JJ said, I'd hope Prosecutor Brennan could bring up an expert in psychiatry and brain surgeon to expose her illness if true. Well, that's the thing. I mean, she still has HIPAA rights, so she doesn't necessarily need to prove it with HIPAA records. So it's like, I do think he is calling someone for the brain, but it's for John's injury, not anything that has to do with Karen. They're not going to bring up the brain tumor that was talked about, I don't think, because again, she has the right to HIPAA, and like that doesn't really pertain to the actual case in itself. So I don't see any of that being brought up in the trial at all. Yeah, if true, but nobody really knows if it was or if it wasn't. If, Yannetti's just going to say it was a misspeak or it was a malignant, it wasn't actually like a tumor, but it was malignant, or it's like, a misscan that they thought it was there, but it's not. Like, you never know. You know what I mean? Like, he could have cleared that up privately with the prosecutor a long time ago. I do. I have said that exact same thing to people, Kings, that it is a sign of intelligence to admit you are wrong, because that means that you can admit you were wrong, right? It means you have the capacity to admit you were wrong and then try to tell the truth and fix something that you might have given misinformation on, right? And that takes guts and bravery and intelligence. Like, is he serious? Is that real life? I mean, it doesn't, like, of course I know this because this is what he does. I kid you not when I literally say this man lives on the internet, like, and is going to lose his ever-loving mind in jail without the internet, because it is literally his entire identity. Is he stays up all night long just scrolling on his sock accounts and searching and scrolling and looking and reading and watching, and it's insane. It's literally insane. I have never seen somebody act so unhinged and erratic as he does. All right. Like, what are you going to pass along to Karen? People like making comments or opinions. Like, I don't know what you think you're passing along other than like, she's fucked. You want to pass that along? Hey, Aiden, pass this along to Karen. Karen, you're fucked. You're screwed. Your story does not stand up. You are guilty, ma'am. And the jury's going to see right through your bullshit. Aiden, samesies guy. Okay? Ditto, backwards. You're screwed, dude. Maybe you shouldn't have lied this entire time to people. Maybe you should have just been up front and been like, you know what, guys? There were some things I did I wasn't proud of, and like, I'd like to apologize, and I hope that you can all understand. And I think some of your people watching you would have understood at that point, but you've gone way too far, like 2 years ago too far, bub. Like, you are ultimately screwed. Your own words and your own actions screw you. Like, you can't lie your way out of this anymore, dude. Like, you just can't. Like, yeah, stupid people will never admit it. You could say that again. Like, so that's the thing. If you don't stand with Aiden, then stop spreading bullshit and lies like it's true when you know it's not. When you have that little inkling in the back of your head that's like, oh, I don't know, something he said just doesn't add up. Oh, wait, there's this piece of evidence that completely proves what he was saying. Like, I don't hear anybody. And here's the funny part is when he is wrong about something, when he does lie about something, he just will never talk about it again. He will never correct it. He'll never say he was wrong or he got misinformation. He just will never talk about it again. How many times did he tell you guys that the taillight was on top of the snow? Taillight was never on top of the snow. It was under the snow. Got snowed over. How many times? Belt, belt, missing hat. The amount of lies that whether it was Proctor, now it's not Proctor. The amount is staggering. The house sold for $50,000 loss. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. They made 250 grand off of it. They lowered it to sell, which my grandparents even did, and their house was worth $500,000. They lowered it to sell it too. Like, around the time they were selling in that area, that's how it was. And they lived in a very good area. So, I mean, there was no loss on the house. They made on the house. So, once again, BS. Yes, That would be super helpful for you. I would very much appreciate that with a feed if we can get a hold of one. I know, right? she's got the little hiccups. Everybody, you got the hiccups? You got the hip ups? You got the hip ups? You got the hip ups? You got the hip ups, girl. Oh God. Yeah, see, and that's what will happen too, is they'll just start like reposting shit or trying to insult. What I find funny about them trying to insult, because they do the same. Oh, that's a yawn. When they try to like post like parts of these lives and like try to spin them to make them sound whatever way they want them to sound and be like, oh, you sound so stupid saying blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you took the time out of your day to like go and clip one of my lives because you don't like what I have to say. Like, don't hate watch me then, dude. Do something else with your effing life, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, I'm not the sewer turtle. I don't have charges against you or people need to monitor what I'm saying. Like, I'm just a small YouTuber putting out what I know to be truth and my opinions based on what I know. I'm not over here harassing people. I don't do that. I don't intimidate people. I don't harass people. I don't spend my time on finding people to harass. I don't do any of that because I don't believe in it. I think it's nonsense. It does no good. And I would much rather spend my time helping somebody who needs my help than doing stupid shit like that on social media. Thank you very much. Or being with my family like I am right now. Or going back and forth between the hospital where my child is. Like, it's just ridiculous. You know, to me, it's like you waste your time harassing people for what? For what? For a pat on the head from the sewer turtle? I mean, that's pretty gross. Like, yeah, Katie, it's my niece. If you don't like it, the door's over there. The hiccups, yes. Yeah. That Melanie Little. Like, being a troll, you know, like they normally do. Oh, I mean, she thinks she's a top celebrity. There's a big difference between being one and thinking you're one. You know? We'll be batshit crazy. Can't wait for the aftermath. Oh, the comments on that are going to be amazing. Lawyers are getting paid, believe me. Why would so many just keep giving money to her? Well, that's another thing. You can't, like, come on, dude. Like, those lawyers know damn well what half of what they're saying is BS. What? What are we mad about? You want the toy? You want this toy? Yeah? Ooh. Ooh, the keys. The key toy. You want this one? Ooh, what we got? Ooh, that's interesting. No, yeah, it's not. Somebody just being. Yeah, apparently. I think they all benefited, you know? No, they don't grasp she's laughing at them, but, you know, she called them stupid. You guys have no idea the amount of, like, what both her and the sewer turtle have said privately about these people. It's disgusting. You know what I say privately about the people that watch me? How much I appreciate them. How much of a community it is. How amazing people are to one another. How much that I can appreciate people want to come here to this community and ask questions and listen and throw ideas around. And every single one of you means something to me. It's sad to see people who don't appreciate anything. And it's like, these people don't appreciate a goddamn thing. It's sad. Like, it's very sad. Well, yeah, I don't know why Smith and Walensky is paying for any of her meals. I'd really like to know why they would be doing that. Like, it doesn't make any logical sense to me. But I mean, they're both going to be swimming in civil suits for the rest of their goddamn lives, pretty much. So, yeah, I tease my friends like that too, but no, not friend. Definitely troll. Ouch. 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 That's an ouchies. Yeah, I mean, we don't get many trolls anymore because it's like, why? I mean, it's point like once in a while, but you get immediately like banned and blocked if you're gonna come here and troll. So I don't know why you like waste your time. It's kind of stupid, you know. That's because her mom never talks. Kings, her mom never talks. You never hear her voice. She just looks up at Mr. Burns and him and Smithers talk. She doesn't usually talk. Like it's that simple. You never hear her talk. She just defers to whatever Mr. Burns and Smithers says. Like, yeah, lots of money from a bookstore, apparently. It's just insane to me. Like, like, that's nuts, dude. Oh, Green, you don't like us? Guess what? You don't have to be here. That's amazing, huh? Bye. Bye. It's amazing when they come here just to tell us how much they don't like it. Okay, bye then. Like, bye.
Can anybody hear me now? Is that y'all hear me now? Yeah, I think I got it. I think I can see the circle moving here. I got my niece on my lap, so I have my camera off. But yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why my headphones just like conked out and the audio went out again. So I am glad that I got it back. I got about another 15 minutes with you guys before I got to go. So anybody got any questions that I can answer for now? Because you guys know you'll have me tomorrow. So I'll try to get on a little bit. So it's got to be between 8:30 and 9. And I know that's a little late, but my little minion doesn't get on the bus until about 8:20. So it won't be until after that, but right before 9, so we can catch what's going on in the hearings, both of them tomorrow. And then obviously we will do it again because the 18th and the 19th we have hearings. So we will do both. But let me just check real quick, see if there's any donations I need to read out. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. If you can send a donation, that really helps the channel. We are a small channel. We only, survive on small donations from you guys, and you guys know that we appreciate it. So I just want to check and make sure I didn't miss anybody. And as you guys know, if you make one when I'm not live streaming anymore, then I just read it on the next one. That's why at the beginning of this show, we thanked Claire for her donation when I was not live yesterday. I guess she must have caught the replay, which we absolutely love. My replay crew. We absolutely love you guys. So I appreciate everybody who even watches it on replay, because I love being able to go to the replay and like in the comments afterwards and answer, because people won't be able to watch it now. They might watch it later. And then I can like answer the questions that they have because they weren't able to be here in the live chat and ask us now. So I love when I'm able to do that too. And I appreciate my people who catch it afterwards just as much as I appreciate you guys, Yeah. Talking amongst ourselves, I know. I love that you guys kept yourselves busy for a second, because I'm like, God damn it. This is the second time today. I don't know what is going on with StreamYard. It might be my computer because it didn't update on Windows last night. And I don't know, maybe it's just like new settings. I had to go in and it had muted. Girl, what? It had muted my mic in the settings, like the regular mic. I don't understand why though. I do not understand why. So I had to unmute it and find that new setting, which is like, thank you for the update, computer, but what the heck? I don't need all those extra new updates, because then you'd just be messing up all my settings that I already have on my laptop. Thank you very much. And I only have one laptop, so I don't need it broken by, mess ups in settings, I think it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. I will, though, try to make sure that I keep an eye on the docket. We have one Karen Reed hearing tomorrow, which will go over, I think, some of the motions in limine, and then Alessi will argue something that he has, and the judge wants him to keep it short. As we know, he will word salad the F out of it, and he will not keep it short because he doesn't keep anything short at all. Which footnote? You got to give me an idea of which footnote. I've went over so many different things in the last couple of days. Girl, you cannot scratchy my face. You cannot scratchy auntie's face. I love you, but you cannot scratchy auntie's face. I know, right? This is my niece. This is my little niece. Huh. I guess this is my just favorite auntie. I think the ID doc will go up on YouTube. I'm hearing it's supposed to stream at the same time as it's on TV. So if it is, I'm going to try and live tweet about it, because it sounds as if it probably isn't going to be fantastic for Karen by the looks of the damage control that's already happening, and it hasn't even done it yet. It hasn't even aired yet. It hasn't even freaking aired yet, and they're already doing damage control. What in the actual hell is going on here? That leads me to believe a lot of these people who pre-screened it know that it's not going to be like favor of her. I think, first of all, if you saw the clips of her as a kid, it's like, bro, that looks like a psycho child. Like, just saying, but it does. Like, you know, it's like, if they're going to keep doing stuff like that, then yeah, ultimately it shows you that she's probably not the best of people, you know? So, I don't know, but the footnote about Garrett Wing not coming in, is that the foot? I didn't see that footnote, but what I would say about that is, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that either side is trying to keep people out. That's kind of how it works in trials. You want to keep people out that are going to kind of destroy your case, or people who are not on the up and up. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, all right, cool. Isn't the dude like a trainer? Like, he's not even like he's just like he's a trainer, right? A dog trainer. I mean, I don't know a ton about the guy, you know, so I can't really speak too much on what his credibility is. It's oh, the turtle said it's a hit piece. That means it's mostly truth. But again, we haven't seen it. So he also said he's going to take on Hank Brennan, which I find to be extremely hilarious because Hank would just eviscerate him on the stand. But oh, hey, Sonny, I would love for him to just claim the fifth, because then we can just be like, hey guys, remember that time he said when the Alberts and McKays took the fifth that would mean that they were guilty because they had something to hide? Oh, well, he just took the fifth. So does that not apply to him too? Like, he knows he will get screwed one way or another. Like, you know, it's not that I don't like, it is that I don't agree with some of the things that happen that certain people do. And so I just ignore people like that. I do check funny memes out though. But I don't appreciate people when they spread false rumors or lies, or when they do things for their own benefit and they're hurting other people. I just try to ignore those types of people because it just doesn't sit well with me. I am willing to collaborate with, you know, people that are trying to help people. I have no problem collaborating with people who are trying to help when it comes to this case, but you know, people shouldn't be just doing shit for their own benefit and it hurts other people, you know. Like, we could just think about all of the people that have been hurt through this case alone. There's a lot, right? There's a lot. The family sees a lot of this. The witnesses, they watch a lot of this. They see it. They see you guys. Okay. They appreciate you guys. I can tell you that much. But it's like, we all need to think about the things that we do and why we do them. If you're doing something because it's best for you, but you're putting it forth as if it's something you're doing for someone else, that's shitty. You know, like, there's things that people shouldn't do. Like, you shouldn't be taking credit for things you didn't do. You shouldn't be, you know, doing shit that'll make the whole thing look bad. You know, like, we can be calm and civil and have good debates and good arguments without being nasty to each other. We can't. It can happen. I just wish more people would do it. Like, oh yeah, Hank does that a lot, Casey, and I really appreciate that he does, because a lot of the time David Yannetti and Alan Jackson will try to do this grandstanding, right? They will grandstand the F out of stuff, and then they forget that they did, and they will completely argue against their own argument later on for something else. And Hank has this beautiful way of just taking their words, wrapping them up, and throwing them right back at them. And he's going to do it every time. Like, Hank does not miss a goddamn beat. That man is amazing. And I told you guys before, keep an eye on him. Like, watch the way he commands a presence in a courtroom. And I'm glad that everybody was able to see what I already knew about him, which was amazing. Looks like they are kind of terrified of the new documentary, which I find funny. They're doing a lot of, you know, like, damage control already, and the thing hasn't even aired. So that tells me quite a bit. If they thought it was going to be so pro Karen Reed, or if any of these people, like, who screened it pre-screen thought it was going to be free Karen Reed, like, and it was going to be so good for her, then they would be saying so. It doesn't seem like that's what's happening. So it's amazing to me, the damage control that you try to do before the thing even exists, you know, like, it's kind of funny to me. Like, but hey, you know, to each his own, I guess. his own, I guess. You know, it is what it is. Ooh, sorry. Trying to whoop. Do you want this or no, lady? You want to take it from auntie or no? No? Yes, no? Oh, yes. No, you cannot have that. You can have this, though. There you go. Listen, I make fun of very few people. The sewer turtle is not, he's an exception because he hasn't taken his whole life that he's so insecure that he has to try to do that to other people constantly to make himself feel better. So I have no problem hurting his feelings or saying shit he don't like, period. But he's probably one of the only people besides Karen Reed and her friggin' clown defense team that I give that to. I don't normally do that to normal people because it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, but listen, if you're going to come at me sideways, you better believe that I am going to come back. So that's another thing. Like, there are so many people that just like cyber stalk me online. It's like, dude, if you don't like me, like, why are you following me, cultist? Go away. Like, why are you hate watching me? Why are you following me on social media? Like, why? Just the answer is why? Like, do you want to tell them? Yeah. Yeah. Jackson was Weinstein's lawyer, I think. Yeah. I mean, Karen has that sort of spoiled look on her, you know, daddy's going to do it all for me. Daddy's going to save me. You know, that whole rich girl thing. He is brilliant and he is fascinating to watch. And he does absolutely command the courtroom. Girl, listen. I have bounced you. I have fed you. I have changed you. What else could you possibly want, lady? Huh? You cannot eat the computer. Sorry. You cannot eat the computer. Sorry. It's like you want to walk around, lady, but you don't know how to walk yet. All right. So I think that will pretty much do it for today, guys. If you can on the way out, make sure you like and subscribe. If you can give a donation, I would really appreciate it. It helps me out quite a bit. I love you guys, and I hope to see most of you tomorrow. It is happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, they're doing a fundraiser for Karen. Cool. That's wonderful. That's what they do every day anyway. But I hope to see most of you tomorrow. I know Kevin's streaming too, but I wish we wouldn't split the whole thing up, but it is what it is. So I will be here. I will see some of you tomorrow. Some of you, I'm sure, will go back and forth between me and Kevin. I appreciate it. If I catch you on the replay crew and you make a donation, I will read it tomorrow when we go live tomorrow. I will try to cover both the sewer turtle and Karen stuff. I'll talk to Freak. We'll try to get another thing set up if we can get a Zoom link on that. So if you're new here, welcome and welcome back. And I will see you all in the morning, right? Yeah, her lawyers are free, so I love to see what they're fundraising for. They're fundraising for her to stay at the Omni for another 6 months, basically. All right, I love you all. Bye. She loves you too, apparently.